What's up, popheads? To celebrate summer, I've decided to cover a different project every week. In this case, today's album comes from indie pop rock band Imagine Dragons. Technically, they're not metal rock, they are electronic rock, pop rock, if that makes sense. So, just wanted to throw that out there. So, anyway, this is Loom, their sixth album, which is definitely their most experimental. It is their most different sounding project yet. I'm a big fan of it. I actually got to see this tour live, and that actually helped because all these it just helped me fall in love with these all over again. I think they work even better live. But this is their sixth. Came out in 2024 in the summer, and it consists of 9 tracks, the standard version. This is not that. This is the Target exclusive, which is why it has this wild green tealy cover, because that's why it looks like this. Different cover and a bonus track. We'll talk about that later. So it technically makes this 10 tracks, this version. So if you have this one, it'll be 10 tracks. It runs for about 28 minutes, around 30 with the bonus track. So just under half an hour, which is a great length. It's pretty short, but it's fun to listen to. Like, you don't get bored. It runs quick. And I don't know how to explain it. It's a great runtime. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't like slog, you know? So I'm a big fan. Their albums are generally longer, but this is short, which I don't mind. I like that it's short. You know, it's a good length. And it's a great sound. It's mostly using electronic elements, a lot of drums, a lot of some keyboards, and it uses a saxophone on one. We'll get to that, and some other elements. It's like some a lot of electro elements. So I put this in this series because this is definitely catering to summer. It's very summer coded with a lot of it sounds like a poolside aesthetic type of playlist, pretty much. It has that vibe of summer, which is great. It's it has some it has 4 big singles, but it's not like radio obsessed like some of these other albums have had. Um, it has a lot of their signature sound, but it also has a lot of different elements. 2 in this series that I've done previously are Funkaway Bounces Volume 1, which, if you know, was the first review in this series, from Calvin Harris. Very different for him. It's very different in his, like, he's very much a electronic artist, but he did a different genre, which was funk. And it worked very well, in my opinion. And that's very experimental for him. And another one, which we did, which is Sweetener by Ariana Grande, very different for her, because she went with Pharrell Williams. She produced with him, and he brought his kind of groovy, funky hi hat production with him, and he helped her make a very different record, very unique for her too. So just some examples of ones that we've done that are a little bit more experimental. We might have one more coming up in this series, but this is an example of Imagine Dragons. Their sound is still here, but it's a little different. So it's a little bit eclectic. They're trying something else, which I like. Here is the the Target edition. I can't speak. The Target version. I've got a couple of their albums, Origins and Evolve. Evolve's my favorite. Origins is amazing. This is probably my second favorite of their work. I don't know. I have to go back, but I just want to give you some examples of like some of their other albums that I have. I have all of them, but they've done 6. That's pretty impressive for being around since 2008. So that's kind of crazy. I'll just move these guys away though because we're not talking about them. They'll get their own video. But this is Loom. I like the cover. I love the teal, the bright light green. It's so summery, in my opinion, and the sound is so cool. I like the look of it. It's very nice. Although I think it's just me, but I think Imagine Dragons changed their font because the Mercury album, I think, had the same font as this, whereas some of the older ones had a different. I think the font for the older albums was way cooler, but that's just me. So it's a little bit of a different font. So if you care. Regardless, here's the physical. I like the cover. It's like a sunrise, sunset. And Dan Reynolds explained that the cover is about embracing a new day, a new tomorrow, looking back as well. So that's kind of the theme of this album. And the cover could mean something big happening or something coming to an end. So that's just kind of like the theme that he said was the main inspiration for this album. It's kind of cool. I love the colors. It's very cool. You got two people on either side of the sunrise or sunset. It's pretty nice. And like the loom is kind of like spread out in letters, and then you got the Imagine Dragons logo on the bottom. It's cool. I like the aesthetic of this. I like the Target version. I like the normal version too, but I think this one just has poppier colors. It just screams summer. And there's a track list, 10 tracks. The last one's a bonus. We'll get to that later. Here is the disc, which is pretty cool. It's got the teal theme once again. It's simple, but it works. I like the I think this is a callback to the Act Through the Standard Loom cover, where it's just like the reddy, orangey type of look. I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference, but it could be. Put that there. Here's the insert. Insert's a little short. I would like it to be a little longer, but it's just lyrics. There's the group right there. They're actually a trio. So there's Dan Reynolds, Wayne Sermon, and Ben McKee. And Daniel Platzman was the drummer, but he actually left before this album, I believe. So they're a trio now. And there is some more lyrics, and there's the credits for everyone. There you go. It's kind of a simple insert. I don't think it's their best, but it definitely looks nice because of the colors. And physical's nice. I do like it a lot. I love the colors. They're so bright, I'm a big fan of that. So track list wise, it starts off with Wake Up, which is my favorite on this. And I like that they just start immediately banging with this one. This is it's like electro hip hop rock. It's a little bit of a fusion. You'll notice some of these songs have a fusion of these sounds. And this is the first big single. What's interesting is 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of these are big singles. They kind of go back to back to back to back, which is really cool. It's kind of different. Although normally I feel like artists would want to spread their singles out. But anyway, Wake Up is great. Lyrically, Dan is singing about a new day, a new tomorrow, embracing a new outlook. And it's really cool. I'm a huge fan of it. There's a kind of a funny thing where he rhymes like digging and spinning and winning, and it's kind of a cool idea. I like it a lot. I'm a huge fan of the vocals. I love the instrumental. It's really epic. This is a very epic opener. I'm a huge fan of this track, and it's fantastic. I am a huge fan, and seeing it live actually made it better. So just amazing, just awesome way to open it for sure. And I like the theme. It's very cool. Next up is Nice to Meet You, which is another single. This one is disco influence. That's like a disco pop feel, which I'm a huge fan of that. From my Ava Max review, I love disco pop. That's like my bread and butter. I'm a huge fan of it. Anyway, Nice to Meet You is great. Dan Reynolds said that this song is about relationships, kind of dating your friends or possibly becoming something more, and the experience of that. And my favorite part of this is actually the woman sample, the girl, whoever the girl is that does the sample, the do 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 do. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sing, but you know what I mean. It's the sample that goes in between the verses. It's so cool. I'm a huge fan of it. It sounds very 80s. It's like very 90s, 80s-y. Has that kind of feel to it. I love the video as well. The videos for a lot of these are awesome. But this is really cool because it's in a nightclub, and Dan is dancing with a woman that he's met, and they're dancing, and he's like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Why don't we hang out sometime? That's kind of the theme of this. meeting a girl, seeing how it goes. It's kind of like that. And I think it's really a great second choice. I think it's a really great song. Next up is Eyes Closed, which we'll get to later. That comes up later. But this is another single, second to last. This one's interesting. It's got a very, this is like typical Imagine Dragons. It's their very signature bombastic, loud, explosive choruses, with the loud sounds, the big beats, typical. But I think it's really cool the way he opens it. I like that whole way he sings it, and lyrically, it's really cool. It's kind of similar to Wake Up, where he's talking about, a lot of this album lyrically is talking about waiting for new opportunities, also spending time with those you love. That's another theme, and looking forward to a new day, new week, new tomorrow, and yeah, just like new experiences and embracing life's struggles and the strengths. So, Eyes Closed is really, really powerful, and it's really awesome. It has a lot of dubstep. It's very dubsteppy, which I'm a huge fan of, and it has a little bit of pop rap with Dan's verses, which I like. He's always had some of the rap. He can rap. He's done it with Whatever It Takes and a few others like I don't know why, but I think he does it really well. He can sing really fast, and he does that a little bit with this track. And I think it's amazing for sure. Eyes Closed is really great. Again, we'll get back to it. I think it's one of the best songs here. And then the last single is Take Me to the Beach, which is by far the most summery of this whole thing. It's electro pop, and it's kind of a silly song. He's singing about like he doesn't have any friends. He sings that near the end, and he says ask anyone, and he's like got me to the end, and it's kind of a silly song. It's a little bit short, but I think it's really funny. Like if you look at the lyrics, it's like very silly in a good way. I'm a huge fan of this one. I love the sound of it. I think it's really, really great. I've heard it a lot. I've literally heard it at the beach. So maybe that helps. I think you need to listen to this at the beach. But it's amazing. I'm a huge fan of this song. I like the whole theme of it. I like the sound, the vibe of it. And lyrically, it's a little all over the place, I will say. But, melody wise, I think it's really strong. And I think it's one of their most unique songs for sure. I like that he took a risk and did something a little different with this one. I could see you loving it or hating it, but I think it's great. In Your Corner is the first track that's really strong lyrically. Again, the theme is looking forward to a new tomorrow, a new horizon, a new day, new experiences. That's kind of the theme of most of this album. And embracing life, all the good and bad. And this one's really nice. It's about a relationship, and it's struggling a little bit. And he's saying, I'm always here, I'm in your corner. And I think it's nice. It's definitely not a favorite for me. It's got some indie rock, it's a little alternative. And it didn't stand out to me like some of these other ones did. But In Your Corner, it's a great song. It's not like, it's kind of least favorite. I think just because it doesn't stand out, like it doesn't like, I don't know, it's not as flashy as some of these other ones. It's pretty simple instrumentally, and honestly, vocally, it might be one of Dan's best. It's just not one that I'm going to come back to a lot, but I think it's really strong. Next up is Gods Don't Pray. This is a favorite for me. This is very different. It's almost a piano ballad, but it has some electronic elements. It's hard to explain, but vocally, it's one of the best. He's singing about, honestly, the music industry as a whole and how don't worship celebrities. They're not what you think. And they probably did, questionable things, some of them, to get to where they are. And that's the theme of this song, which I think is really cool. And yeah, he's like, gods don't pray. And he's talking about celebrities. They don't, They don't pay attention to the little guys. And that's kind of the theme of it. I think it's great. I do think Gods Don't Pray is repeated a little, maybe a little too much. I mean, it could be annoying. I could see that. But the bass is strong. I love the vibe of it. It's super cool. I'm a huge fan of this. I think this should have been a single too. This could have been, I think. But it's underrated. Check it out. It's really cool. It's got a really slick, probably the most slick on here for me. I'm super impressed with Gods Don't Pray. I've heard it the most of this project. I just think it's really, really cool. Next up is Don't Forget Me. Yeah. This is a piano ballad. Or I'm sorry, Gods Don't Pray is electro rock influence. It's got some reggae tone to it. I apologize. That I was talking about the next one. Gods Don't Pray is like reggae. It's got this electronic vibe. So forget what I said about that. That's the vibe of that track. That just like the sound of it. That's what it is. But Don't Forget Me is another least favorite. I did hear this live, and it was honestly pretty emotional because they showed a bunch of clips from previous tours and just like videos in general, and just different fans around the world. That was amazing. It was really cool to see. Definitely the best lyrically is Don't Forget Me. And it's about a relationship once again, but it also could be about the band themselves. They could be talking about, don't forget us. Maybe I'm reading into too much into it, but I think it is one of the most heartfelt. It is the most heartfelt on this, and it's a piano ballad. It's definitely the instrumental is stripped back. It's way back, where it's the most simple beat wise, but lyrically it's the best. Vocally, it's very strong, and it's very touching. I think it's definitely the best lyrically, and one of the best just in terms of the theme. I think it's very strong, very powerful. It's just not like it's not a radio single, it's not like that, but underrated, could have been a single, and I think it's amazing. Next up is Kid, which at first I wasn't a huge fan of. I'm like, oh, what is this? But I gave it a second chance, third chance, and it's really cool. I keep saying cool, but it has a very nice, slick feel to it. It's very frantic. It's very in your face. It's almost typical Imagine Dragons, but it's got this hip hop edge to it with some electro elements, a little bit of alternative in there as well. And he's singing about, get yourself together, kid. And he could be talking about just kids in general, or I think he may be referring to the society or the music industry. I think he's referring to society as well. So it's kind of a pick me up song, kind of like that. And it's very positive. It sounds amazing. It's really cool. It's very underrated. Kind of a least favorite. It's just not one that I like. It didn't jump out to me. It's like, oh, it's not like, oh, that was great. It's like, no, it's a little understated for me. But I do like it a lot. I've listened to it a few times. It's really, like, great. I'm not going to return to it as much as the other ones. But I think it's solid for what it is. And then technically last is Fire in These Hills. I say technically because this album, my version, has a bonus one. But Fire in These Hills is technically last. And they actually started their tour with this one, which is a really cool way to start it. A very energetic song. And again, it has a very heartfelt message to it. And it's hard to explain the genre. It's indie, but it also has an electro feel, and it's kind of a ballad, and it also has a jazz element. It's wildly different from anything they've done before, which I think is great. I'm glad that they're doing other things. And honestly, lyrically, I haven't looked into it too much, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same themes as most of these, like In Your Corner, Don't Forget Me. And He says, I don't think I'm strong enough and I don't think I'm enough. And I think he's referring to just himself as a person and just as an artist. And it's it's a pretty positive song, and it's about a relationship and the ups and downs of that. And my favorite part of this is the jazz, what is it? The saxophone section. I think those are brilliant. It starts out like a ballad, but then it goes to an upbeat, up-tempo kind of jazz pop track. It's a little hard to explain, but I think you know what I mean. This is an awesome way to end the album, technically. I think it's a great. Honestly, I feel like this could have been a single. It sounds like a single, to me. But yeah, Fire in These Hills is awesome. I'm a huge fan of the saxophone sections, but like every part of it works for me. But just the saxophone stuff is amazing. It's just so different from their normal work, which I like. So that's the technical end, of the standard tracks. But Eyes Closed returns. We get another one. It's actually just with a feature, J Balvin. I believe he's Latin. I could be wrong. I think he is. And it's really just the same Eyes Closed as we got with track 3, but it adds J Balvin. Actually, he's in it a lot. I think he gets 2 verses in part of the chorus. He says, "Turn out the lights." I love that. It's so good. And honestly, I don't speak Spanish, so a lot of his verses, I don't know what he's saying. But it's awesome. There's a similar sound on Dua Lipa's. Oh, I'm trying to think. Future Nostalgia, the Moonlight edition. On the very last track, it was called One Day, and it had Dua, but it also had, I think, a couple of Latin artists, and it was a similar feel to this one. I just wanted to mention that because it just reminded me of that. So pretty similar song. It's just in that Latin. It has a little bit of a Latin vibe to it, but I think they blend really well together. And I think J Balvin's one of the bigger Latin artists. I believe I could be wrong, but he's been featuring on some different artists' projects for a while. But anyway, that's the last track, is the bonus track of Eyes Closed. Honestly, I actually think that this is the better version than the normal one. I just think it's better with the Spanish flair. I just think it's awesome, and it's a great way to end this project, in my opinion. Fire in These Hills, excellent track. Like that could have been the best. I would have been fine with that being the closer, but they just put Eyes Closed back, and they added the feature. I think it's great. So that is Loom. I apologize if I was very rambly. I'm not the best with lyrics, so that's why I kind of struggle with that. But I'm getting better. I think I'll try to be better. But yeah, Loom is awesome. I'm a huge fan of it. Seeing it live, I'm a little bit biased, but it's such a unique change of sound for them. I think that's why I like it so much. It has some of the signature Imagine Dragons, like Wake Up, Eyes Closed, Gods Don't Pray, but it's very different with like Nice to Meet You or Take Me to the Beach, In Your Corner, Kid, Don't Forget Me, like basically the whole track list. So I'm a huge fan of this album. Top 5, Wake Up is number 1, Gods Don't Pray is number 2, Take Me to the Beach number 3, let's see, Fire in These Hills number 4, and Eyes Closed is number 5. I think I got that right. And I mean, like least favorites, I would say In Your Corner, Kid, Don't Forget Me, but like I would listen to them more, like I have. I wouldn't like choose to listen to them of all of these. Like if I had to pick just 3 to listen to, like on a daily basis, I wouldn't pick those, just because they don't stand out like as much to me. But I still think they're great, But like number wise, I would probably give Loom probably. I think I'll give it a 10. even though I could go 9 because of the least favorites, I'm still gonna go 10 because I wouldn't skip those least favorites. So like if I had to listen to this again, I wouldn't skip them. I just wouldn't choose to listen to them, of all of these. But I think it's awesome. Huge fan of it. I think it's my second favorite Imagine Dragons album. I think Evolve is still my favorite. I think Origins might be my third, I think it might be my third favorite, and then Loom I would put as the second best, just because it's so different, like musically and sonically. It's so random with some of these choices, and I like it a lot. And it's also the first Imagine Dragons project with them as a trio. They've had a different lineup over the years, but I think it's cool that they've changed it a little bit. And if you've seen this tour live, let me know. I think it's great. I wish I saw their other tours for sure. Um, but yeah, Loom is great. Great summer album. Like, seriously, a lot of these are very summer coded, especially Take Me to the Beach. That is a summer jam. And like, even elements of Kid, Wake Up, and Nice to Meet You especially is Summery. And, Fire in These Hills has a little bit of that. So, a huge fan of this project. I love this band. I've been a fan for a very long time. Of all the artists that I love, I've been a fan of Imagine Dragons the most. I've gotten every album, I've pretty much kept track of them, and I was pretty much there since the beginning. I know they've been around since 2008, so not that long, but when their first album came out, that's when I really got into them. And a good friend got me into them as well with Radioactive, so that just kind of started this whole, you know, rabbit hole. But if you're a fire breather, let me know what you think of Loom. I know it's very different for them, but I like that they're trying new things, and they're switching it up with their sounds, with their, you know, Dan's vocals are a little bit different even on this. So I think it's just really one of the better albums that I've heard. And I like that it came out in summer. It's just kind of perfect for the series. So yeah, Loom, pretty freaking great. I'm a huge fan of it. High marks for sure. What are your thoughts on Loom? Do you like any other albums? Do you prefer Night Visions? Do you like Smoke and Mirrors better? Do you like Evolve or Origins or even Mercury? What's your favorite album by them? What's your favorite song? I know very early on they were very different musically, like very early in their career. Um, but that's it. Thanks for hanging. Let me know what you think of Loom. If you hate it, you love it, been to the tour, what do you think of it? Do you like them as a trio? Do you think they should get another drummer? What do you think of them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? And that's it for me. The next album review will be very soon. I will say a couple of these reviews may not be in the summer category, but I'm still going to review them anyway. So they might be just standard reviews, but I don't know. We'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And please vote for the poll as well for each of these. I usually start them every week so they can get, voted on throughout the week. So that's it. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Have a great day.